Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Working Trader, where we look at the EUR USD and GBPUSD forex pairs and come up with trade ideas for the day. All right, so let's jump into Forex Factory. So today's a big day. It is Wednesday. We have the federal funds rate, so that's interest rate decision. An FOMC press conference. So we are expecting a huge volatile movement in the markets around the time of uh, this news. Okay, so let's jump onto the charts and let's see. So, looking at the daily, this is what we were talking about for a while, where we're saying this is the swing, daily swing, which is weak, and this is the daily swing low, which is strong, and then we are in a bullish trend. And then we've had a break of structure to the upside and another break of structure to the upside, and I was saying that this was a weak daily swing high, which we're expecting to be eliminated. And as you can see, once price made a change of character right there, it never looked back, so it just strongly pushed up. Okay, eliminating that daily area of supply at the top. Okay, so the expectation has been met. So now we now have a new swing range. Okay, so we now have a new swing range. So what that is we have broken structure to the upside right there. So that is our daily break of structure, and now our strong low is that one, so which is the lowest low that resulted in that break of structure. Okay, so obviously this is mitigated. All right, so that's mitigated. We could argue that's a little bit of mitigation right there, but largely it's still fresh. And then we have so our daily internal still remains in the same place. Okay, internal remains in the same place, and this is what we have at the moment. Okay, so this becomes our swing. So currently I'm just gonna put it up there. All right, just gonna put it up there. All right, so obviously right now we do not know whether this becomes our weak swing high. Okay, until we have a deep enough pullback. Okay, but as it stands, this is how our structure is now looking. Okay, so we are definitely bullish. Okay, but after break of structure, we should be anticipating that at some point we might have a pullback. Okay, a pullback into the range. Okay, so it could be a pullback towards these weeks right here. Okay, this interchange zone. All right, so that could be a possibility, or it might be even willing to go deeper. All right, so but the bias from a high time frame perspective, we are bullish. Okay, and strongly bullish at that. All right, and then 4 hour. 4 hour, we now have our swing break of structure as well. So the 4 hour in this case is more or less, well, at least the way I'm marking mine is more or less the same as the daily. Okay, it's pretty much the same as the daily. Now you could mark it differently, but you could say this is your swing break of structure on the 4 hour. All these areas where I was marking them as internal breaks of structure, you could mark them as swing. The only reason is because I'm coming from all the way back here. This was my swing break, right? And then this was my swing low, and we had that break down there. Okay, so at that point, that's when I switched bearish, and then at that point switched bullish, and then this move compared to this large move that we've had made me to consider all these as smaller internal breaks of structure. Okay, and then once we had this larger internal move, which was broken there, right? And then now starts to the range start to tighten up, become a little bit smaller. So the ranges started to become smaller and smaller. Okay, so now the range has expanded again. Okay, the range has expanded again, but for our swing is bullish, for our internal is bullish. All right, but now it's after a break of structure. So after break of structure, we do anticipate that at some point we are going to have a pullback. Okay, so this is my 4-hour point of interest. Right there, that one has already been mitigated, so we have that one. And then if any of these fail, and of course we were waiting for price to come back down to these areas. However, it just had a minor pullback and then continued bullishly. All right. So on the 1 hour, we have had break of structure with a pull, with a push up, and then a pullback, and then we've had another break of structure right there. Okay, so that makes this my strong swing high, and that makes that my weak swing high. So sorry, strong swing low and weak swing high. So obviously swing low has already been mitigated, causing that push out, and then this is what we have. And then we already have this area, so I'm just gonna mark from the top of the wick to the bottom of the wick right there. Okay, so price has already mitigated this area. Okay, and the way price is going, it could continue bullish. Okay, however, I am a bit skeptical now because on all the time frames we have broken structure, and after the break of structure we usually expect a pullback. Okay, a significant pullback at that, possibly to the origin of the move. Okay, so this could be the beginning of that. So I am not comfortable to take longs from here. Let's see, that's a long way as well. 32 pips, and that's a big zone. Of course, could just cover the last candle going up. Alright, as you can see, price did come in to mitigate that. So that would be 201, say 23 pips. And then all the way up to there, that would be, yeah, so it could, if you're going for 2R, definitely something to try. If you're going for 3R, very doable as well. And then targeting that high, that's actually 4.4. So yeah, looks like there is room Okay, it looks like there is room for price to continue bullish. I mean, it has been strongly bullish, so everything is aligned. So it is possible that price can just continue, you know, it can just continue going up. All right, can just continue going up. So as of now, I will say that's a significant pullback. So I will call this my week swing 1 hour high. Okay, that's my week swing 1 hour high. So expectation is for price to take that out. Okay, that's for price to take that out. So it is also highly likely that price could just, come up and then come down, sweep these lows, or even take out this zone, possibly to mitigate this one, right, before continuing bullish. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind as well. All right, so that's it for the Euro USD. Let's look at the pound. So for the pound, same thing as I was saying, that now we could be expecting uh, this supply to fail and this strong swing high to be breached, and that's what has happened. Okay, so that means this is now our daily break of structure, and then this week that week swing low is now actually a strong daily swing low. Okay, and structure in terms of our zones, the current ones, this is what we have, and then of course we have further down these ones which have been mitigated, and then we have that one as well. That will probably be a long while before price reaches these areas. Okay, and then that extreme, which is mitigated right there. So we do have a couple of daily zones. Okay, so if price wants to start pulling back, it is possible that it could just tank. Now we've had a very strong push up, so I am expecting price to pull back. Okay, so supply has been eliminated. We've had bullish breaks of structure. Our internal is bullish. Everything is aligned as well. Okay. Then on the 4 hour, we now have our swing. Okay, so this is after this break of structures. All right, let's see, bam, bam. Yeah, I call that internal. That is more likely swing. Yep. So that's my swing right there, and then I'll take that, and that makes that my swing break of structure right there. Okay, so now I can remove all of that. Okay. Alright, so I can remove that as well. Alright, so this means currently this is the whole range. Okay. So what do we see? We have This area has had a strong break of strong bullish price action right there. So that's my 4-hour POI. Okay. Area below has been mitigated. Okay. Up and then price took off strongly at that as well. Okay, so right, so price could continue right from this area. That's the expectation. Price to come down and then continue bullishly. So looking at the 1 hour, our swing break is down there. Now I wouldn't call this swing structure, okay, because it's pretty shallow. Okay, it's pretty shallow, so I'm not going to call that swing structure. All right. So from a 1 hour perspective, let's see, premium discount. So from a 1 hour perspective, looking at that, boom, just as an extra confluence. So we are in premium, okay. We are in premium. Price is overextended, right? So because we do have this POI, I'll cover that low. Okay. So price is already reacting from that point. Okay. And then what else? And then obviously if it gets down here, then we'll be looking for longs from down here as well. Okay. So strongly bullish on both euro and pound. So that is the expectation. However, because price is now overextended, we've broken structure to the upside, it's highly likely now that we could be having a pullback very soon. Okay, a pullback very soon, because on all time frames we have broken structure and continued to the upside. So now it's highly likely that we'll have a pullback either from this area, okay, or we might sweep this high and then strongly drop. All right, so yes, we are bullish. We are bullish on all time frames, okay. So in any case, it's best to probably just take longs, okay, because we are bullish, so you never know, price could just continue. All right, price could just continue. However, just be aware that if the longs don't work, it's because we are now pretty much overextended, right? We've had this extended bullish run, so it's likely at some point we're gonna have a pullback. Okay, so that's it for today. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. Otherwise, have a good day, and Working Trader out.